a couple things about your musical practice that might change things and shake things up for you. One of my favorite quotes that I saw in a yoga studio on the wall, it said, right now you are the consequence of everything you've done, everything up to this point. And I like to really think about this in relationship to my sound and my musical practice. And because I think so many times we get frustrated, we get resistant about moving forward with music, we get overwhelmed. So just starting with that and saying, I have the ability to respond to wherever I'm at right now in my musical journey. Whatever skills I have, whatever deficits that I think I have, that's where I'm at, and being okay with that. That's such a hard thing to do. And I think from there, we get to take stock of what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses. And so many people miss this opportunity. They don't get the feedback. They don't get the measurements. And so the best way to get feedback and measurements is to record yourself and listen back. And I'm going to share an analogy on this. So just recently, I got reports back from the doctor, and they said, you're at risk of a cardiac event, high cholesterol. Some of that's hereditary. Some of it's because I'm overweight. I haven't eaten the right foods, right? And so, but I didn't even know until I got the report from the doctor. And at the same time, I don't even step on a scale every day. So what I did was I bought a scale. I was like, I'm going to step on the scale every day, right? I can do other things like count calories. I can go back to the doctor. I can check and get the data. So a lot of times when we don't get the data, it's actually a reflection of we're not committed to that thing. We're not committed to the goal. We're not committed to growth. So in music, the best way to get that data is by recording yourself and listening back. And it's so important. But sometimes we don't want the data. Sometimes we don't want the data, and that's our resistance. We don't want the feedback. We don't want to hear our recordings because we don't want to know, actually. It's more comfortable to just, as we're playing, be like, yeah, I think my rhythm's good. I think my intonation's good. It felt good to me. You learn so much more when you get that feedback. But many of us, we resist even knowing the data, right? And once you get that feedback and you're able to see it and be like, okay, so my rhythm, I can see I need some work on my rhythm. I can see that I played out of tune a little bit here. I can see I'm not quite as sure about this particular harmonic event that happened. Whatever it might be, you take stock of it, and actually that's empowering. We're afraid to fail, but it's by failing that we succeed. And as a symptom of this, manifestation of this, is not looking at the data. Because if we don't hear that we're out of tune, then we get to pretend like it didn't happen. We get to ignore it. Hearing that we're playing out of tune, it feels like a failure, but that failure is an opportunity. It's an opportunity. So we want to fail. We want to find, and it's not even a failure, right? It's because music is this infinite thing. We're always going to be where we are on it. We never get to the top of the mountain of music, not like this mountain where I'm standing on here. And so taking stock, then when we do take stock, when we really look at what's going on, we get the data, we start to listen back. The next thing is to listen and to accept. It's to accept it. And it's to love your sound, love yourself, accept yourself for exactly where you are. For exactly where you are. When you can take that stock, when you can have that acceptance, when you can set an intention in your practice, which is, here's my focus, these are the skills I'm going to develop, these are the things I'm going to work on, but also the intention of a feeling that you're going to feel. The feeling of, I'm going to feel grateful for everything I play. I'm going to be grateful for the increased awareness I have about my sound. I'm going to be, inquiring. I'm going to be, set an intention to be curious. There could be a lot of intentions of feelings that you have, and you put those along with the intention of focus. Of right now, I'm practicing, but I'm focused on this technical thing, or I'm focused on this harmonic thing, or I'm focused on this creative thing, or this rhythmic thing, or whatever it might be. So I love this analogy with personal development, going back to the yoga studio. You know, it's like we have the ability to be responsible. We have the ability to decide how we want to respond to wherever we are right now. And it doesn't mean that we ever have to judge ourselves or feel bad about anything, because within whatever deficits that we perceive or the places that we want to go, we can still acknowledge the beauty, the power, the soulfulness that each one of us has to bring wherever we're at. Even a 3-year-old who picks up the violin for the first time, you can hear the soul, you can hear the brilliance, you can hear the intelligence, the beauty, the personality. And so those are my thoughts for the day. I was really inspired because I just got out of the first 2-hour group class of this upcoming session, Creative Strings Workshop. It's a 2-month course that I do every few months, and just got really inspired by the participants in the class today, in the group class. We have all range of people from around the world, and I try to keep this focus on this positivity, that it's really about helping every student, as well as being on that track myself of finding that self-acceptance, of being a friend to oneself. So hope that resonates for you.